This is the Pulse of Television TV2. My name is Samuel Machishe. The main news this hour, these are the top stories. President Lungu has urged Director of Public Prosecution DPP Lilian Sioni not to succumb to political pressure to use her office to settle scores. The government has released 125 million kwacha for payment to farmers that supplied maize to the Food Reserve Agency FRA. And a Chipata-based police officer has been shot dead in Lusaka by another police officer. The news in detail. President Edgar Lungu has urged Director of Public Prosecution DPP Lilian Sioni not to succumb to political pressure to use her office to settle scores. President Lungu has implored Ms. Sioni to be professional and independent in discharging her duties. The president was speaking at State House in Lusaka this afternoon when he swore in Ms. Sioni. The president has also reaffirmed government's commitment to ensuring 50% female representation following the appointment of Ms. Sioni as DPP. President Lungu has, however, said the appointment of women to key positions will be on merit. Meanwhile, President Lungu has sworn in Chewebowa as Commissioner of Police at State House. President Lungu said having served at State House, Mr. Bowa knows all the grey areas at State House.
Commissioner of Police at State House.
For you, my dear lady, I must point out how proud I am that in fact you turn out to be the first female DPP. Am I right? Yeah, definitely. It's a month which we will celebrate because we've been looking for professional women, career women, to make it. We're very glad to have 50% of our opposite sex participating in matters of governance in the judiciary, in the executive, in the legislature. We'll get there, but we'll not force matters, we'll not impose those who are inadequate and not yet prepared to these high offices. For you, I know you've done over 20 years at the bar, and your experience in the prosecution is incomparable. And again, talking to the two of you, I can say good things come to those who wait. You've been frustrated somewhere along the line, but you soldier on, and there you are. So I'm sure you'll be a good example, particularly a lady, of a solid, well-founded professional woman. I said to know that the temptations of these great offices are always there, but your office simply seems to have more and more challenges because in the past this office has been abused inadvertently, sometimes willfully. I don't want to go into history, but I don't expect you to succumb to those who want to settle scores using your office. Your office should be above such manipulation.
State House says the International Criminal Court is expected to send 5 investigators following a complaint filed by Namwala residents on the allegations of crimes against humanity by UPND leaders. Special Assistant to the President for Press and Public Relations, Amos Chanda, says the ICC has informed the Zambian government through the Minister of Justice that there is a case on allegations of crimes against humanity filed by Zambians. Meanwhile, Mr. Chanda has dismissed as false reports by the UPND that the party leadership has taken their electoral petition to the International Court of Justice and International Criminal Court. Mr. Chanda was speaking during a media briefing at State House in Lusaka today.
The Zambian government has been informed to the contrary that it hasn't been sued, but the Zambian government has been informed that there is a private action at the International Criminal Court lodged by private citizens from Namwala who suffered injury, displacement, and all forms of abuse. These private citizens have lodged papers before the ICC, and an official position has been given. The International Criminal Court will be sending a shortlisted 5 investigators who are due to travel to Zambia to investigate possible acts, possible crimes against humanity. The Zambian government on its part just observes this matter as a private action. But I want to state that the position of government is that it will cooperate with the International Criminal Court in that investigation which is about to begin.
A Chipata-based police officer has been shot dead in Lusaka by another police officer. Police spokesperson Mwata Katongo has confirmed, saying the incident happened today in the morning at a traffic checkpoint near Kenneth Kaunda International Airport on the Great East Road, when the Chipata-based police officer was mistaken for a criminal. Ms. Katongo has explained that the deceased officer, who is a detective, was in the company of other officers transporting a suspect from the Eastern Province. This was after Chalimbana police had received information of a heavily armed group proceeding to Lusaka, after which police at the checkpoint closed the barrier. Ms. Katongo says the police officer at the checkpoint opened fire at the vehicle in which the officers were, killing one officer on the spot and wounding two other officers. One officer and the suspect, who was being transported to Lusaka, have survived, and an inquiry has since been instituted into the shooting incident. In other news, government has released 125 million kwacha for payment to farmers that supplied maize to the Food Reserve Agency, FRA. And Agriculture Minister Dora Silia has assured farmers that they will be paid all their money by the end of November. Ms. Silia says another 200 million kwacha for paying the farmers will be released, adding that President Edgar Lungu is committed to developing the agriculture sector. The minister was speaking today in Lusaka at a media briefing.
We've already paid 73 million. We are hoping to dismantle this debt, 401 million kwacha, before the end of this year, hopefully before the end of November. So out of that 401 million remaining, the Ministry of Finance has immediately released 125 million, which leaves a balance of about 276 million kwacha. Again, I have been promised by Ministry of Finance that next week they'll release another 125 to 200 million, so that we remain with a balance of 76 million. And I'm hoping that if these funds keep coming in consistently, farmers. Let me take this opportunity also to really thank these farmers, because I know that nationwide the monies that these farmers look forward to is at the end of their harvest, both from the private sector and from government, and it's purely due to pressure in the fiscal place that government has not been able to liquidate this date. But I'm putting a lot of pressure on my colleague, Honorable Mutati, and the General and the Treasury, that it is important that especially in times of fiscal pressure, in times of austerity measures, that we liquidate the private sector, particularly the farmers, because they need this cash to be able to reinvest. So in trying to put out austerity measures, it is still important that we don't stifle growth by not making sure that the farmers are liquid before they get into the farming season. So
Fire has swept through Kitwe's old Nakadoli market, destroying property worth millions of kwacha. At least 600 makeshift stores have been burnt to ashes in the inferno. Kitwe Town Clerk Bonwell Lwanga says the cause of the fire is still unknown and investigations into the late-night inferno are underway. Mr. Lwanga has told ZNBC News that the inferno started around 23 hours last evening. And PF Chimwemwe Ward Councillor William Nyirenda said most stores would have been gutted had it not been for the quick response by firefighters. The National Traders and Marketeers Association of Zambia, NATMAZ, said the local authority should invest more money in buying firefighting equipment. NATMAZ President Gutson Mofia said those affected are mainly second-hand Salaula and charcoal traders. And Kitwe Mayor Christopher Kangombe is urging the business community to assist the local authority in investing in firefighting equipment. Let's take our first commercial break. We'll come back to the news. Zambian Ambassador to France, Humphrey Chibanda, has urged government to quickly operationalize the dual citizenship clause in the new constitution. Ambassador Chibanda says a number of Zambians want the clause to start working so that they can invest back home. He says people have been flocking to the embassy in Paris to find out progress on the matter. Mr. Chibanda said this when he welcomed Minister of Information and Broadcasting Chishimba Kambwili, who is in France to attend a meeting on digital migration. Hector Simfukwe is in France and now reports.
Minister of Information and Broadcasting Chishimba Kambwili is in Paris to attend a conference on digital migration. The meeting is aimed at finding ways on how digital migration can contribute to national development. Dr. Kambwiri was welcomed at the airport by Zambian ambassador to France, Humphrey Chibanda. Ambassador Chibanda was accompanied by ZNBC Director of Engineering Marodera Rusambo and Director in charge of Media Development at the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting, Isaac Chipampe. Speaking during a meeting, Ambassador Chibanda urged government to quickly start the implementation of the dual citizenship clause in the Constitution.
Dual citizenship. So our hope as a mission is that this is done as soon as possible, and I believe that in the next sitting of Parliament, this is an issue that will be tackled, so that the Zambians who are in the diaspora have what they have really wanted to have, the dual citizenship, and which, as you know, will help our country, because the issue of not having dual citizenship was having an effect in terms of the people in the diaspora contributing effectively to our development. So it's our wish that this will be done soon.
And Dr. Kambwiri assured Zambians in diaspora that the dual citizenship clause will soon be operationalized once supporting legislation is enacted.
The dual citizenship. We are aware that Zambians in the diaspora cannot wait for this to happen, because most of them have changed their nationality, but they still want to be Zambians. So I'm very, very certain that the Minister of Foreign Affairs, through Minister of Justice, must be doing the drafting the law so that it can be brought to Parliament to operationalize the act. And since there's been mention by people here in France, as soon as I get back home, I will find out from the Minister of Justice how far we've gone in that regard. But I'm quite convinced beyond reasonable doubt that things must have moved.
Meanwhile, Dr. Kambwiri says the Digital Migration Conference in France presents an opportunity for Zambia to learn on how other countries are implementing the program.
The conference that we are attending, emphasis is on digital migration. Zambia is one of the countries that are signatories to the UN Convention, in which it was decided that all countries must migrate from analog to digital. The advantage of digital migration is that the entire country, where there are mountains, there are trees, whatever obstacle you can think of, television and radio can reach those areas. Meaning therefore the country will be more well-informed than ever before.
The Digital Migration Conference, which will be attended by leaders of several countries on the globe, has started today and will end on Friday this week. Hector Simfokwe, TV2 News in Paris, France.
And in other news, a grade 10 pupil of Lusaka's Kaunda Square Secondary School has been attacked and stabbed by unknown people while on his way to school. The incident happened last week on Wednesday, October 19, 2016, in the morning around 07 hours. Ayub Mwampamba has told TV2 News that he was attacked by a gang of 3 men who had earlier asked him for money before beating him. More in this report.
This is a grade 10 pupil at Lusaka's Kaunda Square Secondary School. This 16-year-old experienced an attack by 3 unknown men who stabbed him in the stomach and on the hand. The attack was as a result of the victim's failure to give the attackers what they wanted, money. This reporter spoke to the victim and he explained what happened that morning as he was heading to school.
When I was coming to school, I saw some 3 guys smoking. Then they asked for money from me. I told them I don't have any money. That's how one stood up, followed me. They told me that I'll be sure. Then I told them I don't have anything that you want. That's how they started beating me up. I tried, I fought. One fell down. The other one was just seated. That's how he stood up. He came, I don't know the tool which he used, and stabbed me on my stomach. Months ago, even the teachers were attacked. They used to get handbags for the teachers, beating up the teachers. So it's not the first time this thing happened. I was very scared, I can't lie. I was very scared. The time they stabbed me, I even cried. Yes. There was blood coming out. It was my first time. Yes, I was just scared.
And the school head teacher, Agnes Salumai, says the boy came into school bleeding, and the police told the school authority that such cases have been reported before by neighboring schools. She says the pupil tried to use the shortcut as a way of getting to school and was instead attacked.
When we saw a boy entering the school premises bleeding, then when we asked him, we interviewed him, he told us that he has been attacked on his way to school. And it was happening for the first time. We were not aware, since this school was only commissioned in May 2016. So that's how we assigned 2 teachers to take him to the police. And it is at the police station where they revealed to us that the other schools are actually aware that there is a dangerous route that pupils are not supposed to use. But however, the boy is out of danger. He has even reported for school today. He's in school.
A check on the road the attack happened from, this reporter found bare land and suspicious-looking people smoking and roaming around. For now, pupils are forced to move in groups when using this road or not use the road at all. Loyando Hamwala, TV2 News in Lusaka.
Let's go on another break. When we return, we have some foreign and sports news. All right, let's get to this story before we get there. The Immigration Department has arrested 28 persons for various immigration-related offences. This happened between last Friday, October 21, 2016, and yesterday, Monday, October 24, 2016. Department spokesperson Namati Shinka has confirmed this in a statement availed to TV2 News today in Lusaka. Among those arrested are Sierra Leonean national and a German national of Zambian origin who were received at Kenneth Kaunda International Airport after they were refused entry into Dubai. Mr. Shinka has explained that the 2 adults were refused entry on suspicion that passports belonging to the 2 in their company were forged. He has added that the adults are currently in detention pending further investigations, while the children are under the care of the Department of Social Welfare. Stay with us. In foreign news, 4 people have been killed during protests against the UN peacekeeping mission in Central African Republic. Peacekeepers opened fire when demonstrators tried to force their way into the UN headquarters. The UN denies using live bullets and says its soldiers only used tear gas. A group of Central Africans wants the UN mission to withdraw, saying it is failing to protect people. The peacekeepers were deployed after civil war broke out in 2013, when then-President Francois Bozize was ousted by mainly Muslim Seleka rebels. But the UN has been hit by several allegations that its troops have been sexually abusing children. And finally, in sports news, all local Chipolopolo players summoned for the Cameroon game have all reported for camp. National team coach Weston Nyirenda has confirmed the development to ZNBC News in Osaka today. Nyirenda says training is progressing well and that there are no major injuries recorded so far. Details in this report.
These are all the locally based players called to camp by Chipolopolo caretaker coach Weston Nyirenda. It is the second day in training for the national football team after breaking off for league games over the weekend. And Nyirenda is happy with the input of all the players.
Everyone is giving in 100%, and we are so encouraged with the input of the players and the response. We have no serious injuries.
Nyirenda has also expressed confidence in his team's chance to qualify to the World Cup.
I said the prime objective was what? To build the team for the future. And if we qualify, it will be a bonus. And qualifying, we shall fight until the end of it. We are not out, we are still in the contention, and we are going to fight.
And the coach has taken a swipe at the people that are criticizing the team. Anyhow, ahead of the game against Cameroon next month.
I think when I came in, I said something which is very important to Zambians. I did not hide anything, because I'm not a man who hides the feelings about football. If they say we don't have a team, I think looking at what I saw against Nigeria, I think we were a better team on that day.
we just didn't do the right thing, which is putting the ball behind the net.
Zambia will play Cameroon on November 12th in a Russia 2018 World Cup qualifier. Etambuyu Katota, ZNBC Sports, Lusaka.
Here are the headlines as we leave you. President Edgar Lungu has urged Director of Public Prosecution DPP Lilian Siuni not to succumb to political pressure to use her office to settle scores. President Lungu has implored Ms. Siuni to be professional and independent in discharging her duties. The government has released 125 million kwacha for payments to farmers that supplied maize to the Food Reserve Agency. And Agriculture Minister Dora Silia has assured farmers that they will be paid all their money by the end of November. And a Chipata-based police officer has been shot dead in Lusaka by another police officer. Police spokesperson Mwata Katongo has confirmed, saying the incident happened today in the morning at a traffic checkpoint near Kenneth Kaunda International Airport on the Greatest Road when the Chipata-based police officer was mistaken for a criminal. That's about it. Next news time will be at 20 hours.